Welcome to Warblog. Today we're looking at a continuation of my games, this one I think, El Qantara and Al Firdan scenario. I've been playing this for a while, and I'm pretty sure that this is what I'm playing, but to a larger extent I can't remember. I seem to remember now. It's the Israeli turn, and their reinforcements have been attacking the Egyptian forces. So we've completed this sort of section here. Obviously, he's not got any more movement left. I think we've got to sort of figure out the rest. Now, the thing to just say before this is that there's been a bit of a delay in things. I've been just so under things and all sorts. But also, I've just relocated the server yet again. So I took it from Heart, I took it to 20i, and now I got it on an Amazon light sale platform. So I'm hoping that it will settle down, because the previous two platforms were both resellers, and it was just coming out 5.3.2. Page can't be displayed. It's nonsense really, but you know, these sort of resellers advertise unlimited space, do what you want. This isn't a particularly big site, but they just sort of, you know, it's obviously bigger than the basic minimum of a website, and they don't like it. So anyway, this has got its own platform now, so its own VPS. So hopefully it should be a lot more responsive, although I was having some troubles yesterday, so fingers crossed. And plus I had to convert all the code. I got this VPS beginning of the year actually, and I didn't do it because the total migration effort was such, and also I had to convert it from PHP 5 to PHP 7, and that was a big stumbling block, so I just gave up. So, but now it's all been converted, so there might be things that don't work. Now here we're holding here, we're sort of holding along here. We sort of want to enclose things. Might be worth counter-attacking on that unit. I mean, it's been sort of a while since I played, so I can't really remember what I was even thinking, but I think the Egyptians, because they've got these forces, probably want to be taking back some of these. So really we want to be getting into those two hexes at the very least, because they're fort hexes. So it's not necessarily to get rid of these, because these can probably be mopped up by these if they win. But taking them out might be a start. Plus we've got air power. We're not using the air power though, so because of the glitch or the mistake that I made. So he's not been hit at all. So they're not too tough. If we could possibly get into there, but I doubt we will. Taking these two X's back as well would be useful. And there's quite a bit in there, but in there, 3.1. Taking that hex would be probably more useful when there's nothing in there really other than anti-tank and this infantry unit, but they're still pretty tough. Let's see what we can bring to bear on this artillery wise. Okay, so there's the first problem. The combat page is not working, so I will go and see if I can sort that out. Okay, so I sorted that out in theory. So now what I was hoping we can get some artillery on it, which we can. Well, let's just do it. Now I don't know whether this is going to work either, so let's just give it a whirl. No, I'm going to figure that one out. Okay, that should be resolved. No effect. He's now on 5.2, so there's a 2% chance of him. There was a 2% chance of him routing. So he's at 4.6, he's worth about 6. Might have been better going for that. Better having gone for that. But as it stands, move him to there. So it helps keep that back. I'm not going to do any more. Okay, so the Egyptians now. Obviously we're ignoring air power. Now the thing is, they've got all this armour to contend with. So I think what they really need to be doing is expanding as much of this as they can. Pushing a bridgehead over into there, which we didn't think about. Now let's see if bridgeheads work. No, what a surprise. We can sort that out. Okay, I think I sorted that one out. So we wanted to build that into there, I believe. These little errors are things that I expected, because I haven't actually tested it. This isn't like my testing of the PHP 7 from 5. But so once we've solved these things, they'll be done. And they're just issues related to the changing code and the way that PHP 7 works. It's very annoying, really, because it sort of picks up on little errors, whereas before the errors went through and you're not these massive logs. So anyway, we should have built a bridge there now. I think it might have worked. What a miracle. We've got a bridge into there now. Which means I don't think we moved these last time. Let's just go straight across this way. So we've got a large force coming in this direction now. It'd be nice if we can move that guy out of the way now. Some artillery we can get in there. Let's use it. 0.15. Okay, what can we do here? Definitely shuffle along. Let's just go for it. I'm going to think of the odds. Well, let's see what we can do here. Doesn't seem to be working, so I'll have to figure that one out as well. 1 minute. Okay, I think I might have sorted something out. Still very slow. These are the errors I've got to deal with. Okay, a little bit closer. Let's see what this combat does. Yep. Okay, so I've sort of got past that step. So hopefully we can do it again. Back to the good old world of things working. Just as a small note, since arriving at that error, probably in your time, a few seconds ago, maybe a minute or so ago, I've been up on the roof and I've painted like 10% of the roof with bitumen tar because my roof leaks. So that's multitasking for you. He could do a morale check. It's got a 1.5% chance of routing. Well, it's gone up now to 1.3. So you had a 0.1%, it's now 1.3. It's 10.3. Oh, I can never remember. Do I want to try that river crossing? So he's worth half. Thing is, I don't want to do it and not have anything to move in there afterwards. So here we really want to be sort of trying to move things around, so maybe pushing these guys out of the way. Trying to push into there maybe. Exchange. Some heavy fighting still going on. Available for what? I'm just so nervous that the system's just stopping working for some reason. Let's see which ones have not moved. They virtually all move, that's the problem. Apart from him, so we won't include him. Well, before we do that, let's get some anti-tank in there. Or what else can this anti-tank fire at? Well, puts him up to a whacking 2.7, which all adds up, I guess. DR. I knew they'd go into that minefield there, but it might have been worth putting someone in there to stop that, really. We can always attack him next turn. Same with him down there. Okay, that's that. Now on to the Israeli turn. Well, they're really coming across over here. Could really do with doing something here. There's the howitzers. I think there's some more down here. Split them up. Last time I thought of it, but I didn't. But it helps. They can't attack back at one stack. But that was rubbish. Just can't hit anything from there. We got. Oh yeah, there they are there. Okay, so what do we want to start hitting with the artillery? Well, I think we still need to be going for the other artillery pieces. They've made no ground here. That's it, look at that. This is... I don't think it's going to make it. This is the problem, because it's not just the code. I mean, it just won't refresh past that point. So some kind of server limit. It just doesn't want to do it. And then it will sit there for hours until I somehow reboot the server or something. So things like light sail is not the solution for me. Pause. I don't know what that was, but I think it's some kind of optimization feature. So it's the second time they've tried to get past these Sega units, and they've failed. So they're doing fairly well, and we're trying to outflank them. We've got artillery, that will come in useful. But let's see what we can do ground-wise. We should be able to make a breakthrough here, and then push with this. We really would like to get rid of these units. If we could eliminate them, that would be ideal. Ideally, we really want to. We should have focused on that. Really want to get rid of that, because this is solid. We've got threat of them crossing here, so they have put a bridge up. We don't have much to sort of reinforce it with. Interesting, we could push that back, we could at least get some armour near that front line. Okay, let's try and push these guys back first. Now that didn't really help, but they might rout soon. Okay, so we've eliminated one unit, which was enough to do what I wanted to do. Now, we're going to use him again against that. Not that it really does much, but yep. So we've really sort of consolidated this centre line. So what we can do here is attack with one. But he won't be able to really, he won't be able to move there. But he's already got that negative, so he can't move. He's in a. So what we can do here is move him 1, 2, 3, 4, possibly into there or here. Although we might be better off pushing against these units. Where can they get? Now, can we? What is in there? Not much. Can we get artillery-wise in there? These 2 howitzers, 2.1 damage. Bring them down to 0.3, 7, 2, 3. Not a lot. Let's do the other artillery. Oh, 3 on that. 4.7, 7.6, 2.1, They're still pretty tough in there. For a routed. More artillery in there though. Oh, we got that artillery piece. That was nice. I didn't even know he was under there. Okay, so we've sort of broken this center area. Hopefully we can maybe do something up here and then get rid of him, and that will really sort of solidify this section to creating a front line along there. It'd be nice to be able to just get rid of him. There's a lot of manpower to dedicate just for that task. I sort of feel it has to be done. So we sort of chase him around a bit. It's at 6. Eliminated him. That's good. That gives us this sort of front line here. It's a big stack, but we've got to crack it. Oh, there's some artillery in range. No, there isn't. Exchange. Right. Ooh, he's going to sit with everything else. At least the game seems stable. Touch wood. You get more armour on. Might as well go for that. Southeast bridge. See, now that it's all fixed, it sort of works. Touch wood. Yes. So we'll be able to create a bridge into there next turn. Seem to be able to get this anti-tank in there. Oh yes. Let's see if we can get a route on this. No. We'll leave him there. Uh-oh. What's going on now? So that's not working, is it? I'll have to figure that out. It's going there. It's not going there, is it? No, it knows it can't go there. It knows it can't go there. It knows it can go there. But it's not updating. I can tell it's not updating because when I reload, it doesn't do it. Why wouldn't it upload? If I move him there, that should be permanent. Okay, I'm going to have to figure that out, but it might take a while. Okay, I think I sorted that. I have moved one unit over, so if I reload it, it should be in there. So there should be 2 in there and 3 in there, so in theory. Yeah, 2 in there, 3 in there. It was... Well, if you know anything about computers, MySQL has a... When you've got these new fancy things, they have a thing called strict. Strict is where code has to be strict. Obviously, I'm a bit laid back on my code, and so I'd switch strict off. Everyone seems to switch strict off, but it comes as a default. And if you look at his movement is minus 1.0 0.87, and what it was doing, it was interpreting that as a number, not as in like minus 1.8, like in 87 to the power of 100,000 or something like that, and then it was saying it's too long or something like that. But anyway, it just didn't like that, and when I turned it off strict, it's okay. And these are the problems that you have in coding, so much so that you forget what the hell you were doing. I can't even remember what I was doing now, but I'm pretty sure I'm about to attack this hex here, leaving him free to move in there if I win. No, 6.4 versus 3.3. But we're trying to get across that river. I'm not even going to bother with any of this and leave that. Here, it's being pummeled by these guys. What we could really do with doing is putting some pressure on here. We could just leave him to recover. Now here, what we want to somehow do is to stop all these units from hindering our advance through here. Now, can we engage any of these units right now? Can we engage those? If we split, well, if we split 2 off against that, and the rest of this to engage these, let's just see what we can get here first. I could get him out of there. To some extent, it's all about getting a breakthrough. Whatever can get a breakthrough needs to come through onto this side. Do we have any artillery we can get into that? No. This might only be a 1-to-1, but we've got to slow them down. Oh, look at that, DR, that was good. That's what counter-attacks are all about. We won't have any more movement after this, but we can move them both there. Alright, 0.5, we can do it again, although they're doubled up now. I'm not going to try that again. That gives me a little more confidence over here. I'm not going to commit those because they're entrenched. I don't want to lose their entrenchments. It's a bit of a... Oh, 3-to-1 in exchange. And more movement for him. So we're going to leave that like that. I think you can build a bridge. It's available, so what can you actually do? Build into there. South, east. Do we want to push onto those? Possibly. The thing is, they'll get stupid defense because they're in this sort of dug-in area. Look at that. But I'll give it a go because they've got nowhere to run. Exchange. Do we want to attack into that? DR. Exchange. Okay. So we're holding there. We really need to break through here in some way. We've got engineers here. Available. So we just need to get into this hex, or into El Qantara, because look, there's only one artillery piece defending it. Northeast. So now that I've fixed those errors, it's working. So what you've borne testament to is me going through that pain curve thing. And I can't leave in there on his own, so he's going to have to go in with some support. You see, look, minefields, they haven't been done. So, okay, so I sorted that. I want to commit that. Yeah. 3 damage. Just got to plough them in there. It's 4 units. We should be able to get rid of that thing next turn. We've got choices now. Okay. That's all I want to do is the Egyptians. I might end it here because it's a neat position on the Israelis. But clearly we're trying to sort of push this line here and push down here. Obviously try and get rid of that, use this to some good effect. But they crossed the Suez, which they should have done a long time ago, but are now in a threatening position. So it's going to take a bit more than 7 minutes to think and play this turn through, and I might as well wait for the next turn. But we've come a long way. Sorry, I'm not even eating, but we've come a long way because the first game was on the old server, and it was taking so long, and I moved it to the new server. And there were problems. I don't think you saw them, but there were clearly problems. And now I've moved it onto this light sail server with Amazon, and I'm hoping that the problems that I had with the initial installation have been resolved. But it's too early to say yet. But what was happening before, when you saw only half a map, what it does, it optimizes the images bit by bit as it serves them, and it holds them in a cache. And it converts them into text. So instead of saying this image is that Israeli Infantry Company.jpg, it converts it to jpeg.data type, and then there's like about 1,000 characters. So although it might sound as though it's optimizing it, it does that for every single one of these. And so what was happening, is that this code, which is the source code, it isn't that brilliant. It's how all these things together. But for example, you can see these. It was optimizing these. So instead of saying Instagram, this was like a sentence that was as long as all this text. And got to remember that this goes all the way across. Well, it goes across there actually, so it doesn't go too far. But well, it goes on for quite a bit. In fact, it probably goes on for all that width. Now, if you've only got 10 images, that's sort of fine. But when you've got this image repeated, there's at least 400 separate little images here. It's actually not optimizing at all, and it was overloading things. But it builds up, from what I can gather, it builds up a cache. So it doesn't do it instantly. So after it's been served up, say, 10 times, it starts to build these things into its internal server cache, and it stops serving them up as tank.jpg and starts serving them up as these 1,000-character things. The benefit of that is it doesn't have to make a call to the server for the image, because the server is all the data for this image is actually in the script. It's amazing, really. No one, they don't tell you this. There's no sort of rule book to sort of, say, well, this is how it is. You've got to figure these things out, and it's quite depressing, really, when you're trying to do something like this, because you don't have time, and you sort of think, well, will I ever get this game working properly? But hopefully this new server will solve a lot of problems. I've always been happy with the way it works, but I've been recently just under so much pressure from the ISPs, who don't say anything. They don't say, "Oh, your website's too big." They just, when you say it's taking a minute to load, they just sort of say that's normal. It's not. And I think what they've done, they've been putting some load balancing on this particular site and being so, obnoxious with it all and things. And, with this new host, it's clear that they've got load balancing, and, that was it. So I had to get this new server, and it means upgrading to some PHP 7, which is tentatively faster. But I don't notice a speed difference. But hopefully, the thing is, with this new server was what I was going to do once I had paying customers, and I don't really have paying customers at the moment. I have some customers, but not enough to sort of warrant the expense of a server. But now maybe that there's a server, because I don't think anyone will really notice, because you can't notice it unless you're playing. And most of my videos are pretty good. Generally speaking, it's been okay. But anyway, it's done now, and so I'm on the other side of that sort of reseller VPS type pain barrier. I've used VPSs before for other things, but I didn't want to start putting this on an significant expense, which it is now. But when it went down, I just thought, oh god, I was looking at all my maps, and I love this game. I just thought, well, it could be so, annoying twist of fate that suddenly the code was, I couldn't maintain the code, which is what happens with a lot of games. They can't maintain their code from one form of DOS to Windows to C++ or whatever. That's why I try to keep it very simple, and it's already very complex. But anyway, it's 59 minutes. I'm going to leave it at that, and I'll speak to you in the next turn, maybe next, after this is uploaded.